Hi guys, Olive here today to do a casual video, a more unplanned video, and by more unplanned, I mean entirely unplanned, where I tell you about an impromptu read-along that I'm putting together. I know everyone is right in the middle of Nonfiction November, or if you're not participating, just in the middle of all of your November reading, in the middle of a very busy season as we start to conclude this year. But I really wanted to hold a read-along for this book because of some drama going on in the bookish community. I don't want to get too much into it. I know a lot of you aren't on Twitter, which is the only reason I'm going to go into explaining this situation. Otherwise, I wouldn't explain it at all. I made a very conscious choice to wear my Charlie and the Chocolate Factory t-shirt in this video because if people are going to act like children, then I'm going to dress like a nanny again. This is spiked iced tea, but you get the point. I'm really only going to attempt to summarize the whole drama very briefly so I can get to the read-along announcement as quickly as humanly possible. I'm going to leave some links for you to articles that describe the whole mess down in the description box below. I would really encourage you to go and read those before taking my word for any of this. Part of the reason why we all got into this mess in the first place is that people don't do their reading, they don't do some investigation before kind of determining a stance on an issue, and that is not a good thing to do. Basically what happened is that there is a university in South Dakota that has this program that they've been running for a decade now, where they have all incoming freshmen read the same book. They call it the Common Read program. And historically, they've picked books that are more young adult focused. But there was one girl in her junior year who specifically joined the committee so that she could prevent those types of books from being selected. She thought that incoming freshmen should probably be reading more socially focused books. In the university newspaper, there was a quote from her saying, "I joined specifically so that they wouldn't pick a Sarah Dessen book." And if you don't know who Sarah Dessen is, she is a very popular, let me underline that with my words, young adult author. She then goes on to say in the article that Sarah Dessen is fine for teen girls, but she's not up to the level of the Common Read program. And then immediately after that, she talks about the books that she wanted to see in the Common Read program instead. Books like Just Mercy by Bryan Stevenson, which is all about the failure of the American criminal justice system, aka something very important for incoming college freshmen to be reading about. Now, Sarah Dessen, when she first read this, was understandably kind of hurt because when you first look at it, it's going to feel personal if that quote is about you, of course. But I think if she would have taken a moment to calm down, she would have realized that this isn't personal, that that student wasn't targeting her or her work specifically. She just wanted the Common Read program to be focusing on something different. Instead of taking a moment after what was probably that initial gut punch or just distributing a screenshot of this article to her friends and having a little private vent session, Sarah Dessen decided to take to Twitter and very, very clumsily blocked out the student's name who was saying these things and made it so it was very, very easy to find out where the screenshot came from. It was very, very easy to find out who this student was. So she doxed her. And if you don't know what doxed means, it basically means that you're putting someone's private information out there. This girl is a private citizen. She's not a famous author. She is not a booktuber. She is not a public figure. Immediately, other authors and friends of Sarah Dessen started coming to her defense, trying to make her feel better about this whole situation and saying that teen girls' stories matter, which of course they do. I don't think that was ever an argument. I don't think that's what the student was trying to say. But the problem started when other authors started name-calling this girl. Again, this private citizen did not want to be involved in this at all. Are you starting to get why I'm saying people were acting like children? I think a lot of the authors who reached out to Sarah Dessen meant well. I don't think all of them participated in the name-calling. There are currently lists going around Twitter about all the different authors who were involved and who all we should not be supporting anymore. Again, I would really encourage you to look into that before you just decide that that list of authors is no longer for you. Not all of them were name-calling. Some of those authors were just wishing Sarah Dessen well without knowing anything about the situation, which before you get involved in something like that, you probably should know what the situation is. But if you're just sending well wishes, I don't really hold you culpable for the people who were going after this student. But this student was the target of a lot of harassment from very big names within the book world. And it's just really not okay. Since then, a lot of authors have apologized for their part in all of this. Some of those apologies, I believe, a little bit more than others, because I think to have a successful apology, you need to identify specifically what you did wrong. Sarah Dessen didn't do that. Sarah Dessen didn't say, I apologize for selectively screenshotting that article and only showing the part where she said negative things about me, but not showing the part where the student was specifically saying that she wanted Just Mercy by Bryan Stevenson to be chosen. But the issue here is that once you dox someone, once you put their name out, her name is now forever going to be associated with this drama, because Sarah Dessen had a feeling and decided to tweet about it without considering anyone else. She was only considering her feelings in that. And to me, that's not acceptable behavior. That's not a way to behave when you're in a position of power. That student wasn't even being critical of her work is what gets me about this whole thing. And I could tell from her apology that she still didn't get that it was never about being critical of her work. It was about wanting Just Mercy by Bryan Stevenson and other socially important books to be chosen instead. I agree that books about teen girls are very important. I believe that young girls' voices are very important. I have 3 nieces. I totally get it. But that's not what this was about. I think we all know that. Not that authors need to behave exactly how I want them to all the time. I know that's definitely not going to happen. But what I really was hoping for from these authors after this whole situation, I was hoping that they would come out in support of the books that were chosen for the Common Read program. I think it would have been a really unique opportunity to show some grace and some humility, and to draw attention to books that young people should be reading so that they can understand what's going on in society. But since those authors chose not to go down that path, I thought that we as a community could come together and read Just Mercy by Bryan Stevenson, because it is a very important book. Just to be really clear here, this isn't an effort to drag these authors by choosing to read Just Mercy. I'm not trying to stick it to them by hosting this read along. I personally don't think that bad behavior is a good response to bad behavior. Again, I was a nanny. I personally think that the best response to a negative situation like this is a powerful show of community. And what better way to show that than have a group of us read the book that this student thought was that important enough to join the committee to fight for. I've been really needing to read this book anyway, so if you would like to join me in reading it in what I am choosing to call the Booktube Common Read, I will put the Goodreads information down in the description box below for you. We are going to be reading this book from December 1st through December 9th, which is about 2 chapters per day, which I think should work pretty decently for everyone. I'm going to go back to enjoying my weekend now. I have lots of books I need to be reading for Nonfiction November right now, trying really hard to stay on track. I just wanted to pop in quickly and let you know that this was going on in case you need some time to get your hands on a copy of this book. I know it is still an incredibly popular book, so your library may have a holds list. I do have a little bit of a favor to ask anyone who decides to join in and join the Goodreads group, that we not focus on this drama more than is absolutely necessary, because all that drama on Twitter is not what inspired this read-along. What inspired this read-along was the original intention of that student who found herself under attack. She thought this was an important book, and so do I. And that's why we're reading it together. As I said, all the information for this group read will be in the description box below, as will those articles about this whole situation. I really do encourage you to go and read those if you're interested and inform yourself about the whole situation. Never take just one source as gospel, even if it's me. Please don't. Let me know down in the comments if you're planning on joining in on the Booktube Common Read. I would love to have you join us. And if you want to find me anywhere else on social media, my links, as always, are in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.